Just make sure your spine is aligned, nicely aligned. Shoulders with the hips and the ears aligned with your shoulders as best you can. And just bring your attention to the crown of the head. Release any tension there. Relax the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the back of the tongue, the temples, the ear, the inner ear, the back of the head. Just allow the shoulders and shoulder blades to drop. Relax the throat, the chest, the belly, and all of your limbs. And just bring your attention to the sensations of the breath. And just as you inhale and exhale, maybe around the nostrils, around the thoracic cavity, the belly. And just, notice how your mind might be traveling off to investigate sound, and just allow all of those sounds to be there. Try not to follow with the mind. And just be aware of what's going on in your mind this evening. For some of you, it's daytime. Early morning. So just notice what it is you've woken up with. Notice what it is you're ending your day with. Try and put some space in between those thoughts. Try not to judge what's there. Just be curious. And just imagine you're sitting on your bank, the bank of your river, and you'll, check out the quality of the water in that river. And just remember, as long as you're sitting on the bank watching the river, you're free from the river. Such a sweet analogy from Mingyur Rinpoche. We don't realize how much freedom we have, but we do. Bring to mind all the people of your life, the loved ones, your strangers, ones you don't like. And just remember that regardless of how we think about any of these individuals, they're all equal, and they wish to be happy. They wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So think. We'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So just remembering there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change that by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we need the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva is above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face, and his eyes are long, shaped like lotus petals, and they're just very peaceful and full of love and compassion for you, and equally all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth, and his hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So there's this little section on developing compassion. And in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for all these beings. And just think, I must purify for their sake. Then we come to this power of remedy. And this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan. Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita. Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita. Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita. Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita. Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And then comes the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this kind of overflows and disappears into space. Not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita. Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita. Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita. Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita. Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita. Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita. Drita meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasiti mempi yata sawa kamasita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hom Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And that includes yourself, because you'll hear what you say, you'll read what you write. So don't forget that writing represents your speech. Posting on social media represents your speech. So next is the purification of our mind. Vajrasattva very compassionately again sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same, you've walked into a room, it's pitch black, and you flick on the switch and the light comes instantly. So the same here, the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, grudges, all of this is instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jira Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jira Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jira Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. So you imagine the nectar flowing down, pushing out all the negativity of the body, the nectar flowing up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then the light coming and completely blasting all the negativity of the mind. And imagine this is all happening simultaneously. And this way, you're eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as we recite the mantra for the last time this evening. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. It's really crucial because nothing's going to happen until we make a decision that it will. So we decide we don't want to harm. We want to refrain from harming. And then we make a plan about how we're going to do about what we're going to do about that. So we can start by rejoicing in everybody's effort for coming along here tonight. And then just think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. It could be your speech, could be your self-talk, could be the way you think about others in your mind. You might gossip to yourself about others. So just think about something that you could do. Like when nobody here is a murderer, right? But, there's other things we do that are harmful to ourselves and others. So imagine Vajrasattva's delighted with us, wanting to merge with your mind. He melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So let's just, for a moment, just meditate on emptiness and think in emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma, There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, you can place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think the way things appear to me might not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So in many ways, you can actually just start with thinking like that, just questioning whether what you're seeing is in fact really real. And if you were a dog, you would see the world differently than if you were a human. So what does that tell you? So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Where did we get to last night? Are we here, the mirror-like wisdom?
Yes, we start at the mirror light wisdom and go all the way through 69 would probably be best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's only one line, 66.
We didn't do it last night. We did the first 3 lines of that. I can show you. We
Okay.
did the first 3, but we didn't.
Oh, we didn't do the last line. Okay, never mind. Called Vajra Bhairava, he is terrific. 6-faced, the king of anger, hideous, 6-eyed, 6-armed, the ever powerful, bearing his terrible fangs, a skeleton. Hala hala, 100 faces proud. The Yama killer, ruling obstacles, instilling fear with Vajra impetus. The Vajra-hearted, famous for his Vajra, with belly large, with Vajras of illusion. The Vajra born, the sovereign of the Vajra, akin to space, his core comprised of Vajras, unmoving, haughty, with his single dreadlock, his clothes an elephant's raw hide still moist. Okay, everybody. So let's just have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, and for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachers to live long. And Will, if you could just bring everybody back